Greetings, my fellow mercenaries. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Fuel Barons of Tatooine, which originally streamed live on Twitch. The first few minutes, I go over the lore, rules, goals, and characters. If you'd like to skip any of that, please use YouTube chapters. Episode 1, Finding the Oasis. We're a group of mercenaries that were hired for a reconnaissance mission by the Tatooine Rebels to probe for vulnerabilities of the Galactic Empire. On our mission, we happened upon a freshwater oasis in the middle of the harsh desert of Tatooine. Knowing the value of fresh water and the wealth that could be amassed by controlling it, we pooled our resources to acquire an experimental black market droid. The droid could unlock the knowledge required to refine our own space fuel, a much needed commodity requiring fresh water, which is exceedingly rare here in the desert. With space fuel to sell, we'd be able to set ourselves up as a spaceport hub, bringing in even more wealth and trade. Given the value of the Oasis, we fully expect there will be attempts by the Pike Syndicate, the Hutt Cartel, and even the Galactic Empire to take what is ours by force. We must prepare to defend our Oasis with our lives. This is our story. So here we are, on tiny little Tatooine, a desert hellscape with basically nothing but sand. However, if we zoom in far enough, oh look, the Oasis. The factions are as follows. We've got the Galactic Empire. We've got the Freetown, Tusken Raider tribes, the Tatooine Rebels, Hutt Cartel, and Pike Syndicate. This is our starting map tile. A bleak desert, save but for one little pond of fresh water coming up from an underground aquifer. The starting characters, we have Frosty. Frosty is a Wookiee, trigger-happy, jogger, and tough. Matcha Zhao, quick sleeper, too smart, and sanguine. We've got Red, industrious, tough brawler. Can, a hardworking, fast-walking optimist. And then Zero, the experimental black market droid. Before going any further, all of the mods that I used for this can be found in the mods command or for you YouTubers in the description. But keep in mind that I modified a whole lot of them. I have the mods that I modified up on my website that you can download, and also all the mod configs in the save game file. There are directions on the Steam collection of mods for how to set it up for yourself. As far as the mod packs go, just a very brief overview. I have got the droids from the Star Wars mods. I have Rhymfeller, which is a oil drilling, chem fuel processing mod. We've got Dub's Bad Hygiene, some vanilla expanded stuff for spacer level furniture and defenses. Star Wars Racers is in this as well, obviously, because you can see the Rodian and the Taruga or whatever up top, but in the Wookiee. There are Ewoks, there are Jawa, there are ones that we have not yet discovered yet. And then in the main here, it's probably busier than you've ever really seen it in any of my series, but yeah, we have tons and tons of research, extra research. All right, let's get started. So first things first, the astromech droids cannot use weapons. So Frosty, Matcha, Can. You're going to grab guns. Red, you are going to grab the breach. And what I want to start to do is... Well, all right, another thing. For Dub's Bad Hygiene, if we look at the fertility, this is Tatooine. Don't forget, there's basically no fertile soil. The only fertile soil is a very low fertility crescent along the river's edge. So I'll set up potatoes in here, but I don't suspect that I'm going to get a whole lot of potatoes given the ambient temperature is often way too hot to grow. So we not only need to set ourselves up with a starting survival shack, but also hydroponics. Luckily, we have a source of water for the hydroponics. And yes, hydroponics in this mod set does require water. So let's do work priorities. That should be quick. I happen to be the fastest clicker in the West for work priorities. Okay, done. Starting little building. I am gonna make probably one shack of roughly 13 by 13. To start simple, I'll stick a door here, here, and here. And then I'm also gonna have bathrooms. Because with Dub's Bad Hygiene, if you don't have a place to go, well, you definitely piss off everybody. We are also going to want 4 beds. 0 being a droid does not need a bed. So he will not be receiving one. And my best constructor is 0 or red, doesn't matter which, so I'm going to have red start building that. Awesome. And there we go. A little bit of warning that the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire are doing battle with one another. To be expected. Kind of hate one another. Just a little bit. I'm hoping for good quality beds here, because good quality beds will allow us to rest more quickly. Another thing that I'm going to want pretty early on is to make sure, because I don't have ideology enabled, and ideology allows you to mediate moods pretty effectively. There's a lot of things in ideology that can make people happier, but this mod set does not have ideology. It has royalty, but no royals. I guess one thing that I didn't cover is factions. Any faction that you don't see here does not exist. So there aren't mechanoids, there aren't insects, there's no royal, Shattered Empire, any of that. This is simply purely Star Wars. So with that in mind, mood is going to be a bit of an issue. And given how difficult it is to grow anything, drugs is not a reliable way to deal with bad mood. Well, don't build that. So we've got an excellent, good, good, and hopefully at least good. Yeah, all right. For the excellent bed, I'm going to give it to Matcha. Matcha is our researcher, and I think that we're going to have a lot of research to do. So it goes to Matcha for that reason alone. In terms of wildlife, there are some crate dragons out here. I really hope they don't try to munch on me, because that would be very, 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 very terrible. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. And then there are Gizkas, which are tiny little lizards. Their leathers are incredibly good heat insulation. And then the crate dragons are sort of a RimWorld equivalent of a Thrumbo. Very difficult to kill. They're a bit easier to kill than Thrumbo, I would say. But they're pretty tough, and their leather and meat would be very valuable. I don't really have a place to keep their meat from spoiling at the moment, so although it'd be really nice to get and nail a crate dragon and take it down, we'll need a method to store food pretty soon. How do I plan on getting wood in this mod? I don't. There wasn't a lot of wood in Star Wars, was there? Especially not on Tatooine. So it doesn't really make sense that I have a renewable source here either. Alright, we have horseshoe pin and chest table. I think what I'm going to do is set up some wind turbines. So these wind turbines will at least keep the lights on while I research better, more robust methods of power generation. Oh. And I've positioned them wrong. Let me nudge them. I don't like to put wind turbines where there's no space in between them, because if there's no space in between them, I find that they often get destroyed. because you can't walk around them. You can't put them out on fire quickly. All right, I am unlocking some of the channel point redemptions, like ask a question about the game or the Yoda streamer cam, so you're welcome to use those as you see fit. Next, we are going to have composting toilets. And from the start, we'll have to have steel water tubs. They suck, but, you know, that's just what we can accommodate. And then, Frosty, I'm going to have you start to mine steel. We're going to need a lot of steel if we're going to get hydroponics up and running. So I'm just going to go to nearby mountains that have steel in them and start to mine. Because I think Frosty and Can are our miners. And I'm just about out of steel already. I should have been mining it right at the start. Alright, that crate dragon is way too close. As is that one, honestly. Has me a bit nervous. Out here, we are going to have raw materials. Raw resources that are not wood or plant matter. Because wood and plant matter will rot outside. Are all the animals hostile on sight? So the crate dragons are kind of like Thrumbo, as I said. You fight them, they fight back. I actually, if you use the Star Wars Animals Collection mod, they won't do that. I had to modify it myself to make them aggressive. Honestly, most of the Star Wars mods are horribly imbalanced, poorly designed, and buggy as heck. And I had to do a lot of fixing. And there's a lot of things that aren't balanced still, and I don't intend to balance them. But just full disclosure, if you're looking for a complete and perfect overhaul of RimWorld with Star Wars, you'll be sorely disappointed because there's a lot of holes in this mod pack. It's fun, but it's not well designed, and there's a lot of problems. A lot of balancing problems and just a lot of issues of the design as well. There were a lot of things that the original coders had tried to do and failed. So, for instance, Astromech AI is supposed to make the mechs not have mental breaks, but unless you modify it in the way I did, they don't get this plus 200 mood boost, which means that your robots will constantly have mental breaks, like pig outs and drug binges, which makes no sense for robots. Just as an example of where the mod pack fails. So, I've tried to repair it as much as I could, but just know that it's not perfect. Okay, we have a basic shack. The next step is to get research going. I might move everything over one, actually. Sorry, Matcha. I know you were playing, but there just ain't room. Set this up poorly. So, in terms of the lore of this series, we do start off with fabrication research, which gives us fuel processing. The whole idea was that our mercenaries here bought Zero, an experimental droid with knowledge of high-tech mechanisms, and one of which was he knew how to fabricate. So we start off with that boon, which means that we can jump straight to high-tech research bench and not spend time on low-tech. Right, for this latrine, we're going to do an occupancy check so that nobody walks in on anyone using the, I'd say can, but it's not even a can, it's a bucket. Crate Dragon, I'm watching you, dude. I'm not food. Okay, you know what? You're just going to jump me in a second here, aren't you? Who are you chasing? Matcha? Down you go. Eat it. Or rather, we'll eat you. Alright, steel butcher table. We'll get one of those up. And then we're also going to want to get electric stove. I don't want the crate dragon to go to waste. There's not a lot of animals on this biome. And most of the year, it's too hot for animals to even be here. Which means that, yeah, a little bit of food goes a long way. Alright, where's the other ones? Oh, Jesus, that's close. I'm not food. Don't look at me. Go eat a berry bush, a random berry bush that this oasis sprung up. Leave me alone. It would be unfortunate if someone died to the crate dragons early on. They move at like 7 speed, so you're not gonna outrun them. Not without like double architect legs, which is why I shot first. Just like Han and Greedo. So tomorrow's goal is set up research to get hydroponics. So if we're working towards hydroponics, the other thing that we're going to need is water pumps. So we're going to want an electric pump, or rather a water well in the water here, and then a plumbing running that water over to an electric pump that feeds it to a water tower. And then we'll have pumped water. I also don't have batteries, so a mix of solar to deal with the grow lights, batteries to help capture the solar power and the wind power when the wind's blowing, mixed with the water for the hydroponics. It's relatively expensive to try to get that up early on, but that's what we need. So that's what we'll work on. Alright, so it looks like Zero, while everyone else sleeps, is working towards getting ourselves the research bench. And cheers. I know I missed a whole lot on that feed. Run, Zero, run. Zero does not haul very much, but works without sleep, so useful in that regard. Ooh, cargo pods of silver. Nice. That's not bad. Okay, sending... Actually, Frosty, you keep mining. Can go hunt the Gizka. Wherever it was. Oh, yeah, Gizka. And then over here, I'm going to have a drop stockpile for corpses that are animal corpses. Fresh animal corpses. Alright, Red, what are you working on? You are building the research bench. Good. No, keep doing it. Because Matcha doesn't really have anything to work on that is important until that research bench gets made. She's just hauling resources, which is totally fine. No complaint about hauling silver or steel in, but getting her into research is going to be really important. So there we go. And we'll get a stool for that. And first research that I'm going to undertake is going to be battery. I don't think that we're going to get solar up without battery. Or rather, we're not going to get the hydroponics without batteries. Kind of a prerequisite. Where is the next closest steel? That's some silver. And this might be the closest steel, which is right next to a crate dragon. Why, crate dragons? Why? Why do you have to be so close? Thank you, Scorpio. And oh man, everybody else, so many. I'm excited for this one. This should be a lot of fun, especially late game. Should be crazy. There's our water well. And the water tower, and soon the electric pump. So with a source of water, we could plumb up, of course, the electric pump doesn't have power, but with the source of water, we could plumb up our, the water tubs here to instead be sink basins, but I'm just going to have them be water tubs for now. Our population is so small that hauling water there is kind of not too labor intensive. Crimson, thank you, I think twice over for all the gifted subs. Welcome, dude. And cheers. Do different races have bonuses, or are they just cosmetic? They have slight bonuses to one another. The droids are very different. But Frosty, for instance, has a much higher temperature tolerance than, let's say, Can. So there's slight differences, but they're really not that much. Oh. Hi. There's a Tatooine Rebel just kind of wandering around in my desert. Yeah, don't mind me. This is my water. You stay away from my water. Don't even think about it. Oh, Zero's researching. Zero, I'm going to have you not research as high as Matcha. I want Matcha to be our researcher. I mean, she is too smart, after all. So that node is tapped for steel. Oh, and now red is? That's cute. Can you all, like, behave? Thanks. So in terms of hydroponics, we are going to want to start to work on the setup for it. Now, the other thing is, I don't really know where the kitchen is going to go, which makes it challenging about where to put the hydroponics. And if you're wondering, I am letting this crate dragon get very close to its spoil marker to buy me the most time. So let's say that I hypothetically have food stores here. So this is what, a 11 by 11 room. So if we do, the challenge with our large room in this mod pack is large rooms are very hard to cool down in the summer. Just a point of reference here, if we take a look at the terrain, in the summer it reaches about 60 C, which is just very, very difficult to cool. So one thing I'm going to want to do, because there's a limited amount of steel on this map, I mean, there's also a limited amount of sandstone, but I'm going to want to get sandstone blocks. You've never heard of liquid water? Well, I mean, read the lore primer. This is the only oasis that has ever been found on Tatooine, so I agree. It has never been heard of until now. That's kind of the whole point. Alright, Zero, I'm going to let you cut some stone once you're done hauling. The other crate dragons are, so far, leave me alone. Can Frosty wear clothes? He can. And I'm sure he will at some point. Alright, there we go. Oh, bye-bye, wind. Big reason for batteries, right? So in terms of keeping our refrigerator frozen, or freezer frozen, we're going to want to double wall everything as much as we can. And then in the freezer, I might even shrink this down a little bit. I don't think that we're going to have that much food, especially not meat. So let's have the inside be 9 by 9. And I'm going to nest it pretty close to this mountain here. I also wanted to go down maybe 2 tiles. And over 1. I'm gonna not go directly against the mountain. It'll just be easier to build. And then it's going to share a wall with likely a dining room. So I don't need a double wall there because the dining room will be temperature controlled as well. And I think I am going to make the decision that the only way in and out is going to be through the dining room. That way there's not a lot of foot traffic that causes the temperature to rise. All right. And then that's going to be a basic dining room and just have a door there. That will do. All right, Zero, I'm going to have you cut stone. That is going to be your full-time job for now. It could also share a wall with hydroponics. It could, to the south or to the west. Possibly to the west. Once we have hydroponics, I can mine out this mountain and set it up here. Alright, Frosty, looks like you've mined out everything that you meant to mine. The other thing I'm going to need if we're setting up hydroponics is a whole lot of components, so I'm going to have Frosty start to hit the compacted machinery in the mountainsides as well. And Can if he wants to mine. So I've got 1.6 days and 1.1 days for the Crate Dragon and the Gizka. The other Crate Dragons are still out there. I'd love to be able to hunt them. It does look like our power sucks right now, so I'm going to add additional wind. I didn't want to have to invest in it, but it looks like the wind is just not agreeing with us at the moment, so I need to be researching or we're going to starve to death. So this is just a matter of survival at this point. What storyteller? Rainy Random losing is fun. Yeah, I didn't have the right written down because basically I always use Rainy Random losing is fun unless otherwise stated. There we go. Now we have a little bit of power going. Good. Just making sure everybody is working diligently. I think I'm gonna have Can. You are gonna join the stone cutting. Went from brigand to mason pretty quickly. Where the cooler's gonna be located? I'm gonna be using Dub's Bad Hygiene coolers, not vanilla coolers. I think they look more fitting for the series. So down here, let's set this up. So this is going to be preferred food for everything but packaged survival meals. No kibble, either chocolate, water, not that insect jelly exists, or eggs. There we go. Oh man, if only we... Hey, get batteries researching. If only we had batteries right now. The wind is full going, 13,000 watts. And we are using 250 of it. Makes me sad. Alright, battery tech is done. I think what I'm going to do, knowing that we have a lot of frozen foods, is to get multi-split air conditioning before we get... solar or hydroponics, because there's a lot of creatures to hunt that we could turn into meals if we had a means to freeze them. And we have 13 hours left on the crate. I'm going to wait as long as I can to prevent that abundance of meat spoiling. Also, don't worry so much, Red, about the eastern dining room area. That does not matter at the moment. Can, I'm going to have you, as soon as you're done cutting that one, join me on construction. Oh, yeah. He's like, nah, I don't want to. I'm good. All right, 0. Let's get batteries going. Because he's an astromech droid, his carry weight is terrible, and he has to make a lot of trips to pick up only 18 steel at a time. But again, never sleeps, so still pretty productive. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a brownout here. I guess what I could do is flick the pump off, diverting power back to the research bench. Really? Just like, I just need a tiny bit more, but no. Oh, your name is Cicada. That's unfortunate. All right, 3 hours left on the crate dragon. Let's go butcher it. Look at all that meat. Alright, we're back to research, which is great. I don't really need water being pumped from the electric pump, so I'm just going to store it in the batteries until the batteries top up. Frosty is going for components right now, which is good. I'm going to need, like I said, a whole lot of components to get the hydroponics up and running. And so far, these crate dragons haven't tried to jump me, but I might jump them, knowing that pretty soon I'm going to have a freezer to be able to store their meat long term. Also, now that we're heading towards summer, the ambient temperature is getting unpleasant. So currently the priority is build a freezer. Pretty straightforward. Oh, you're gonna be wandering around in here? You think that's gonna let you off work? Something else I'm gonna want to do is to turn off auto home zones, because I don't really like how they paint them. They paint way too wide, and I don't want to spend any time cleaning dirt from sand. Is really pretty much what the game wants me to do. So, I will fix that. Okay. Eventually, I guess that will be home zoned as well. Matcha, I better not see you leave that high-tech research bench anymore. Lady Shell, thank you for the bits. Decibels, thank you for the resub all 1 whole year. And Martius as well. How you doing, Martius? Okay, Red, you can come back to building the recreation. Good. And eventually I'm going to have enough stones to be able to floor and tile as well, I suspect. So this meat is going to be spoiling in 1.6 days. I don't know if I'm going to... Ooh, it's bad temperature in here. So if it's bad temperature in here, that's going to slow down my research. So I'm going to burn some of the wood here into a passive cooler to try to bring down the ambient temperature of the starter hut. I'm going to do it actually twice. Wood is not that important of a resource. in terms of long-term survival. And we'll be able to buy it in spades, in droves, once we have a starport up and running. Ooh, some plasteel. I'll mark that for later. I should start marking rare resources. So, oh, more plasteel. Jade. I don't really mark jade. It's not important. It's not blood-soaked, so. Great dragons. Gold. I can't mark it because it's off the map tile, but I'll mark where near it is. Plasteel. Again, it's off the map tile. Oh, gold. There we go. Yeah, that'll do. Might have missed some, but when we have need of those resources, I'll search again. Alright, the temperature in here now is not bad. It's going to allow for full-time full-speed research. And when Mach is asleep, I'm going to have 0 hop on the research bench to load share. I will make a filing cabinet. That sounds like a good idea. A little 5% boost. Don't mind if I do. Oh, Mach is already up. Oh, and I am getting attacked by the Galactic Empire already. Nerds. Alright, so that's fun. So 3 of them, or 4 of them, have really powerful weapons. A tax collector extends a declaration on behalf of the Empire. As an unauthorized settlement, the Oasis is hereby required to pay a registration fee. No, shove it. You chose death. Death you shall have, Empire. Death you shall have. So these are mostly like NCOs. They're not stormtroopers or anything like that, but they have pretty scary guns. I'm not gonna lie about that. I don't have a means of easy security, but I think what I could do is very briefly set up some sort of trap for them. Okay, and then Frosty, start hauling that steel over because we're going to need the steel. I wish I could turn a crate dragon against them, but that... Ooh, they're fighting each other. Get wrecked. Oh! Oh, yes! Ah, well, it didn't do very much, but yeah, apparently a crate dragon did attack them. And that's great. Great crate. All right, opening the door for them. This battery, I'm going to move because it's probably not safe where it is. Nope. No time. Get down, Red! Alright, behind the chests, behind the table, behind the freezer. They're gonna set fire to things and get shredded by my mercenaries. What's up? This is the way. Rat-a-tat-tat! You guys got Cap! Alright, let's put these fires out. All I got was bruised. They got schooled. So badly schooled. And we now also have a crate dragon for freebies that I can hunt. So, yeah, it's a big plus. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Fuel Barons of Tatooine, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 17th and September 18th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that this was a one-time streamed mini-series. If you would like to try this for yourself, all of the files can be found in links in the description. Please read the directions carefully, because a lot of setup and modifications are required to duplicate this scenario. If you would like to get involved in my gaming community, which helps to determine the mini-series I stream month to month and the games that I play on Twitch, please join Discord. The link to that can be found in the description of the video and at Rhadamant.com. My stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams and episodes are also at Rhadamant.com. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow mercenaries.